Now once we understand the various types of relationship, now we are going to get deep inside the core of the Unified Modeling Language UML, that is called model diagrams. Now these are the models and diagrams which we will discuss and understand. Now what are the various model diagrams which we discuss? Basically, a model is a complete description of a system from a particular perspective. So what is important? Think about complete description, that is one thing, from a particular perspective. That is important. So each one of them provides a complete description from one particular perspective. So there will be use case diagrams for a system which will give a particular perspective, class diagram will give another perspective, object diagram will give another perspective, component diagrams will give another perspective, and all of this combined gives you the model of the system. Now whenever you want to design and develop a system, it is a very good idea that somebody should spend time to define these diagrams and create a model of a system which you are going to develop. And some of these diagrams are called static diagrams and some of them are dynamic diagrams. These green ones are all dynamic diagrams. So what it means is that, like sequence diagrams, collaboration diagram, state chart diagram and activity diagram, these are dynamic in nature, these are little static in nature. Okay? These captures the dynamic behavior of a system, these capture the static behavior of a system. So using all of this will create the model of a system. Now what are each of these diagrams, how we create it, what are the example of each one of them? We'll just have a look and we'll see how it goes. Now we'll break down all the models and views and diagrams in terms of various types of it. So where is requirements diagrams are used? Use case diagrams, where are the use case diagrams? So let us underline all our diagrams first. Okay? So here is use case diagram. Where is use case diagrams used? Use case diagram is used when you are collecting the requirements itself of a system. So whenever you are working with the requirements, use case diagrams are very important. So that also becomes a part of your modeling the system. Class diagrams are used when you are trying to find out the kind of objects and their relationships. Okay? So these are class diagrams and objects diagrams and objects diagram as well. These are static in nature because once you define that behavior, they do not change over the time. Now there is something called dynamic behavior, and that is static state machines. So state machines, this is called a state diagram. What it means is that how the state of an object goes over certain period of time. So it is a life cycle kind of a behavior. So object is created, object's attribute changes, object is destroyed, object is garbage collected. So that kind of a relationship, when you have to declare that is a dynamic in nature, we use the concept of state chart diagram or state machine diagram. Interactive behavior. For that, we try to, let us assume that we are trying to find out interactive behavior. Then for interactive behavior, we will use various diagrams called activity, sequence and collaboration diagrams. For interactive behavior, we will use activity diagram, sequence diagram and collaboration diagram. For physical implementation structure, let us assume you want to declare that how the system will be deployed, where the components will live, how they will interact, and that time we use component and deployment diagram. So these are the various things which you do to create these diagrams. You do the complete requirement analysis to create use case diagram. You understand the dynamic behavior to create the state chart diagram. You understand the static structure to create the class diagram and object diagram. You understand the interactive behavior of various classes and objects and components to create activity diagram, sequence diagram and collaboration diagram. And then you discuss and try to analyze the physical implementation structure, that let us assume that you have a web server, database, application server, client interfacing, XML, all of those, how they will deploy it on a various server, and those are the discussions you have to do when you want to do the deployment diagram as a part of your model. Okay. Now that is at a very high level, structuring the activities for various kinds of UML diagram you have to do. Okay. Now we will start with each one of the diagram, but before that just a very quick rundown about the UML tools which we have seen. Number of people keep used to asking me ki which one is the good UML diagram, which one I should use. It is all up to your preferences, but I will just give you my personal preferences. What I have been using is, I have been using Argo UML quite a bit, and then I have used Altova as well and Rational as well. So these three I have used. This is very good, but this is a little bit paid software. So they are very good. These are good, but you have to pay to use this software. And these are the free ones. So this is also good, not bad. This Argo UML is a pretty nice one. And these ones are, Argo UML is very good, well established, and it does a lot of work. But Rational and Visual Paradigm is definitely a lot better, and if you want to use them, you can definitely use them. So there is absolutely no problem in this one, and you can find out that how it works. Okay. So that is what is about this one, Rational and Visual Paradigm. Argo UML is free, Star UML is free, Violet UML is free, BOUML is free, UML ET, UML Pad, they are all pretty good. It depends on what exactly you want. Depending on, is it what you see, is it a visual too much, does it generate a source code out of this, does the diagram looks a little nicer, all of those factors comes in the picture. So what I would suggest is that in the beginning you might want to just try out with the free one called Argo UML, and based on that of your experience how it is, you can try the Rational or Visual after that, or Altova. They also have a trial version, so you can download the trial version for 15 days to 30 days. All of them have a trial version, and they also have a particular edition called Community Edition, which is free of cost for each of these paid, but that Community Edition generally lacks good number of features which is there in the paid edition. So just be careful that Community Edition is not exactly what their paid edition is. So once you understand that, you can best is try the 30 days free trial and then decide what you want to buy, or you want to stay with the free one. Okay. Now we will discuss about model diagrams. So as we know, a diagram is a view into a model presented from the aspect of a particular stakeholder, provides a partial representation of the system because it is only one aspect of the system, it is not the complete system itself, is semantically consistent with other views because using all the views it can do that. And most important thing, is that it has 9 standard diagrams. Static views use case, class, object, component, deployment. Dynamic view sequence, collaboration, state chart and activity. So just remember that these are the 9 standard diagrams: use case, class, object, component, deployment. These are all static views. Okay, static views, and these are for dynamic views.